this chemical equation, and then the first thing we want to do is that we want to try to inspect it and see if we can balance it without any stress. But I want to teach you a sure method that you don't need to worry whether it is correct or not. It will always be correct. Now, this is the method of simultaneous equation, because if you try to inspect this now, it might give you a little bit of headache, especially if you are not familiar with the equation that you are dealing with. So what do we do here is that we assign letters to the back of each of these compounds here. So we can put X here, we can put Y here, we can put Z, we can put U, we can put V, and we can put W here. So after that, what we do is that we separate these things. Now, of course, we know that we have the reactant side and we have the product side. The next thing we do is that we pick all the elements that participate in this reaction, starting from H. So with H, on the reactant side, the total number of hydrogen that we will have here, of course, because of the X that is involved now, so we say we have X of hydrogen in this place. And then it doesn't have anything on the reactant side again. Now let's go to the product side. We have H here. Of course, there is W behind it, but there's also a subscript of 2, which makes it a total of 2W. The next is chlorine. So for chlorine, we have X on this side. And then if you look at this on this side, it's a little bit more than, it's kind of in 3 places. So we have chlorine here with a subscript of 3, but there's Z at the back. So we have 3Z. Now, there's also chlorine here plus U, because that one does not have any subscript. Plus, the next one here is with a subscript of 2 and with V, so we have 2V. Now, we are done with chlorine. Let's do potassium. For potassium, we have subscript of 2 and we have Y at the back, so we have 2Y. Then if you go to the other side, potassium is only in one place, and that is U. Then followed by chromium. So for chromium, we have 2 and we have Y, so that makes it 2Y. Then on this other side, we have Z. Yes, we have Z. We're done with chromium. Then the final one, which is oxygen. Oxygen on this side, we have 7 as a subscript and we have Y, so we have 7Y. And then on this side, oxygen is just in one place, and that is W. Now, after getting all of these, the next thing you want to do is that you know that these two will be equal. The reactant side must be equal to the product side if the equation will be balanced. So all of them must be equal. So this must be equal to this must be equal to this must be equal to this, and this must be equal to this. So the first thing you want to do is that you want to check which of these letters relate with all the things, all the other letters in this place. And if you are looking at that, in fact, Y seem like our guy. Why? Because Y is connected to U, Y is connected to Z, Y is connected to W, W is connected to X from the up here. So indirectly somehow, Y is connected to X. And as we can see, Y is linked with X, therefore, and it's linked with Z, is linked with U. So somehow it has a relationship with V. Now with this now, Y being the guy, so we do something with the Y. So what we do is that whatever your letter is that is common and then that is appearing most, relating with all the other letters there, you equate that letter to 1. So when you say let this Y equals 1, you see that automatically some things become solved. For example, you can solve for your U, because U will now be 2 times 1. As you can see here, 2 times 1, since Y is 1 and U will be 2. And Z will be the same thing as well. Z is going to be 2 as well. In fact, we can get our W, which will be 7 times 1, and it's 7. And now that we have W, you know, this will just be 2 times 7, which means that we can solve for X as well. X is going to be 14. And finally, from this place, you know, from this and this, I have everything here apart from V. So if you put 14 here, and then this will be 3 times 2, the value of Z that we have gotten. We also have U to be 2 as well, then plus 2V. If you do that very well, this will be 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. When you take 8 to the other side, that will be 14 minus 8, which is 6, and you divide it by 2, that implies that V is 3 as well. And with this, you see that you've gotten everything that you need. So next thing for us to do is to bring our equation and put all of these values there. So let us bring the equation down here. So for x, we know what x is. X is 14. X is 14. What was here? Y. Y is 1. And then what was here? Z. Z is 2. So put a 2 here. And then what followed by U. U is 2. We put a 2 here as well. Then followed by V. V is 3. So there will be 3 here. And followed by W, which is 7. And this balances the equation. So that is just a simple way of balancing your chemical equation, especially if you are not familiar with the equation and then it will sort of give you a headache. Just go ahead and do this. This is sure and then trustworthy. I'll see you in the next one. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and follow.